families and they wanted to do it. Why am I going to get involved? Why should we get the government involved?
Well,
why would I tell them if everybody's consenting, if everybody's okay with it, if the parents are okay with it, if nobody's being harmed, if it's going to be okay, if they're both abiding by
it's all going to be okay.
The rules.
Dude, I thought he had a fucking leopard print on his hands, man. This guy's tattoos. Dude, I thought Ice Cream Man was fucking crazy. Look at this guy. Holy moly, that's like Piccolo. He's got scales.
They're not hurting each other. Why not?
Are you kidding
me? They're still, like, they're at best a
Mr. Cool Ice.
They can't consent to something like that.
So, whoa, you can't consent to that. Uh-oh. It means you can't consent to anything. That's good, because children can't consent. We all know that.
I'd like to think that I have a more
The tattoo is for pulling out his brave. Damn, man. I'm glad you like that one.
nuanced view than most of the internet on what makes someone a creep. I've taken a lot of flack for saying that people who are, in my view, not creeps, somehow actually are. Like, I don't think that a 16-year-old dating an 18-year-old makes them a creep, because I think that nuance matters.
Dude, this is so good. This is good. It's been a while since...
A lot of people are being talked about online and accused of a lot of shit. We had the Dr. Disrespect situation, where he admitted to talking to a minor inappropriately. We had the Chris Tyson situation, where Chris was a huge fan of Shadman and also got into some trouble for some weird shit they were saying around minors, which is not good, to say the least. And I think that both of these people should definitely be condemned for what...
Okay, I hear you. Let's... Oh my God, we're getting... Time to get exotic.
Watching you, and everybody knows that. And you know it. Look at her. She's looking down. She's cringing, and you know it.
She's cringing exotic.
Saying, stop that. Look at that cringe. She's cringing at her simp fans jerking off on the stream all day, and she's aware of it. And then she has the balls to go say Dr. Disrespect's a terrible person.
Man, she's trying to get the doctor's kids taken away. That's kind of a nice thing. That's actually kind of a nice thing to do to someone. Did she suggest this? Well, no, look, this is... I'm not trying to be gossip, okay? I'm not trying to talk about these people like they're real. But it's the symbology of it. It's the messaging of it, okay? These people are doing symbology, and they're doing little messages to, like, signaling and triggering their audience, okay, by doing these things. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter who you are. What, you're gonna call for someone's kids to be taken away? What the hell? One man CPS is fucking roaming the internet.
My problem with
Imagine that.
Both bad people, but like that doesn't.
But nobody cancels Pokemon. There's no hate.
Mean. So she was just calling for children to be taken away or something. Hey, now this isn't the end with the Moist Critical stuff, was it? Oh, this is just kind of bouncing around a little bit. Let's see.
They're monetizing it.
No, you don't think kids are not as an important conversation? What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be.
This is so much. How do I even... how do I handle all this stuff, man? Let's try.
You don't think anything updates? Just tell us what you think it should be.
I think
it should be 2 years.
Important conversation?
Age of consent to be?
2 years.
Should be, Sneako.
This is not an important conversation.
No, you don't think kids are not as an important conversation? What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be consistent, you don't think anything updates, just tell us what you think it should be.
I think...
Oh, let's have this take.
It should be past stage at a developed
Fuck is that?
age.
What was making messaging sounds? What could possibly be doing that? Okay, let's continue.
What is a developed age? If you had to set a law for it, what would you set it? What would you set it about?
Oh, is that coming from the video?
It's a developed age.
And with all of this going on, he
developed age. Now, look, I'm not. I mean, we'll get to it. Talking about the age of consent and all that stuff is a very female thing to do, honestly. Generally speaking. So let's see what they have to say.
Penguinz0, Moist Critical, or Charlie on a stream to debate him. Now, Charlie, as much of a fan...
Is Charlie Moist Critical? You know what I'm saying? Again, I'll say again. The lawmakers or the big personalities that rail against age gaps and things like that, why don't you check their hard drives out and see what's on it? Check the age gap out on that. Then you'll be singing a different tune. Okay? Don't ever let anybody, don't let people that belong in prison or such browbeat you into anything at all. Ever. You don't have to take it from slime. And the good or bad of it is something that I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get into, maybe we won't. I don't know. Let's see.
Fan of him, as I have been in the past, did not perform amazingly in this debate. I think it's clear that he's not a very skilled debater, not his most amazing skill. But I don't really blame him for that because the average person is not watching a lot of autistic debate content online. But regardless of how good or bad he is,
Tom is pretty classic.
The stuff Sneako was trying to push in this.
Hey, what about Aaliyah? Did anyone have a problem with R. Kelly when he married Aaliyah at 14 or 15? Anyone remember that? No one had a problem then. But no, people have a problem with, now people have a problem with, 18 and 17, 19 and 20 and 18, 22 and 18. The people that literally belong in jail are the ones that browbeat you on age gaps. You know? Oh, it's only just warfare against men. And, we could talk about the validity of this consent and this and that, but what's the fucking point? Why? Why would I bother? Why would I bother? Why would I bother even going back and forth about if this is too young or this is too not? Who is defining these ideas that we're all talking about? Why is everyone talking about age gap this, age gap that? The people that put this into social media are the biggest freaks in history. You're gonna take your ethics and morals from them? It's crazy.
This debate was absolutely insane, and Charlie also was trying to push some really dumb shit.
Now, is Charlie moist critical? Who's who here? Who's who here? You know what I'm saying? Who's who? Yeah, I mean, there's some questionable stuff, Afina, but the big picture of it is policing, making men afraid of everything. Policing men's life so much and castrating them. I'm not saying that, the big age gaps are uncastrating. I'm not saying that at all. I'm talking about military campaigns. I'm talking about warfare. I'm talking about life as a whole. These things are designed to make men feel guilty and scared to do anything. It has nothing to do with the ethics of this or that. It's a military campaign against men. It is what it is. Many such cases, all such cases. It's just the way it is. You're a man, you know how it is. Warfare, warfare, warfare. You know what I mean? People don't understand the warfare there is. And if you fill your mind worrying about these ideas that are given by, the government or Hollywood, then you're going to be in a circle of nowhere, getting just amplifying fear, amplifying nothing. Look where it leads. It leads to nowhere. All of discussion on this and that age gap, it leads. Where does it lead? It leads nowhere. You've seen where it leads. Nowhere. Therefore, it's a fake outrage. It's a fake outrage. If it leads nowhere and nothing changes and no one gets punished or whatever, it's just empty rhetoric, spreading criticism of everything men do. Everything. You know what you call that? A military campaign. That's what you call it. You call that a military campaign. That's what you call it. See? And I'm just saying, generally speaking, that's why these things are so dangerous. Not dangerous, but dangerous to talk about on their own terms. I'm not going to talk about anything on any terms but my own. I'll die before I talk about anything on somebody else's terms, especially some freak with freaking hard drives, some lawmaker that is trying to hassle everyone and say this and that. Some abuser is gonna tell you this and that. Are you kidding me? Getting lectured by lawmakers and politicians and this and that. If you knew what they're guilty of, well, you fill in the blanks.
And I feel like I have to, call it out a little bit here because he said something here that is, I'm just not cool with.
Oh, in the 1800s.
No, I'm not talking about anyone I'm talking generally social media as a whole. I can't think of any examples of people that I know that are obsessed with the gap stuff. Maybe some feminist people on Twitter or something like that are trying to be one of the boys. They're trying to be inflammatory and controversial like a man, like one of the boys. Hey, if it works for you, go ahead. I don't even criticize that. People can make a living however they want to. But these women online, they're trying to be men. The problem is no such thing as a cool woman. They don't exist. Just like a sexy man doesn't exist. It doesn't work that way. A woman can be controversial, can pull all this stuff on Twitter, and that doesn't make him cool. No such thing as a cool woman. Doesn't exist. No such thing as a sexy man. Doesn't exist. Same
when
thing.
it was the age of 10, that was fine. Legally back then, they were not a pedophile. Today, legally, they are a pedophile.
I like how the words are blanked out. Yo, what's this guy got a gun in the back? Yo, is that a gun in the back? Oh, you guys. Oh, yeah, you can see it. That's freaking. That's mint.
Wait, when was the age of consent?
The thing that the conversation
Today.
starts with is critical, wondering why.
See, that's a good joke. Saying it's 10, like that's a freaking good as hell joke. I said 2, so my joke is inherently better. And people don't usually make jokes like that. And maybe I really shouldn't too much, but 10 is a good joke.
The age of consent is something that Sneako is so intent on debating, or why he has such an issue with the age of consent in general.
Oh, so he has an issue. Well, let's
Charlie
hear.
says the age of consent should be an accepted number, meaning 18 years of age should be the age of consent, because when you're 18 years old and you're going to college, you can drive, you're doing very adult things, versus
You can't drink though, can you? I think age of consent should be 21.
under that age, you're still a kid.
Oh wait, who wrote those rules? Lawmakers? Oh. Who defines what's right? The government? Who defines the age of this and that or this and that? The government? That's great. That's cool. It's illegitimate. All government is illegitimate.
Sneako then responds by saying that the age of consent in most states
true.
is not 18, which is true. About 30 states in the United States have the age of consent set to 16 years old. Charlie then says,
There you go.
yeah, but that mostly applies to Romeo and Juliet laws. Like,
Romeo and Juliet laws? Is this Liz Hussey? Who is the Romeo and Juliet from the 60s? That was old Hussey, right? Man, those were the days. They showed us to that. They showed that to us in high school. My goodness. Again, I'll say it. Lawmakers make your laws. Do you respect lawmakers? Are they legitimate? They're not.
Like a 19-year-old dating a 16-year-old is legally not considered bad because obviously
Yeah, the age is at which they will charge you with rape automatically. Yeah, you get it, Barbatus. You get what it's all about. And I'm not going to even why bother get into the Olivia Hussey. I remember that. I'm not going to bother go into the finer points of if this is good or bad because it's absolutely pointless. It's absolutely pointless. There are bigger things in play right now, and I'm a big fan of unity, and a big fan of forcing someone to get on the same page as you. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing. Okay, but you see, this stuff, when laws are made, you guys like laws? Imagine going to bat for a law, going to bat for the government lawmakers. Wow. Yo, going to bat for the government lawmakers. Whoa, that's crazy.
see they're relatively close in age. And we can recognize that there are exceptions where somebody may be breaking the law, but it's not like a pedophilic act, right? Sneako then says he's not arguing to lower the age of consent.
It's an act.
He's against the idea entirely. He then points out that in Europe, the age of consent is 16 in a lot of countries. In Brazil,
14.
it's 14 years old, I believe. He's basically saying that the law varies from place to place. So he asked Charlie why he believes 18 is the true age of consent.
That's the truest age. You call that nubility. That's the age of nubility, I think. Nubility. Know what I'm saying? I think that's the age of nubility. Go to bat for lawmakers.
To be respected. Charlie then brings up that just because it may be...
Well, let's hear this. Where does 18 come from? Barbatus? Selective service. Military. There you go. Now you have your answer to everything. Lawmakers?
illegal in some places, that doesn't mean it's right. Sneako responds by saying, okay, well, I wouldn't really do that. I wouldn't date someone that age. But it has nothing to do with their age. It's because he doesn't hook up with people anymore, and that's it.
What?
The greatest qualm about having someone underage that it's like out of wedlock. He then claims that even having an age of consent encourages premarital sex somehow. So Charlie says, okay, would you marry a kid?
Okay. So then instead of...
Okay, hold on.
Okay, would you marry a kid?
Okay, so then instead of like,
what a nice touch.
Let's take it away from like premarital sex. Would you feel comfortable marrying a 16-year-old? Like, would you meet a 16-year-old with...
I mean, at least the 21, Afina, at least that's put forth by a woman and not by a twisted freak lawmaker. You know what I'm saying? At least that's put put by a woman. At least there's that.
Romantic intent if you're in Europe, and maybe marry a 16-year-old.
I
Nothing
wouldn't.
sexual.
I probably would.
Dude, this is rich.
And maybe marry a 16-year-old.
I
Nothing
wouldn't.
sexual.
That's so good. You marry someone, it's a non-sexual wedding, a non-sexual marriage. That's so good. 21's about right for a man. Biologically, that puts many women at a big disadvantage. Age of consent law implies there's a horde of rapists waiting for permission. Maybe there is. See, it's again, I'll say it again. I know not everyone wants to hear it. All this legalese is only a war on men. It's not to protect vulnerable women. It's not to protect anybody. It's only to war on men and give an in to send someone to jail for rape. I'm telling, at its foundation, that is its foundation. More this, if it's moral or ethical, that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation.
I probably wouldn't personally, because I don't think that I'd be on the same mental.
No, I mean, hey, Afina, I get what you're saying. I get your concerns, and I get the gist of, the mores of the culture and yours. I mean, there are crazy things. There are weird things, They're like, an 80-year-old man dating a 5-year-old. Or you could say 25 and a 16. You could say anything at all. You could say 85 and a 5-year-old. You could say 25 and 16. You could say 15. You could say 17. You could say 27 and 17 and a half. I mean, you could say anything. You could keep, that's the problem with this. You could keep going on forever and ever until men and women hate each other for life. That's the point. The point is to make men run scared, to always be afraid, to be guilty, that their sex is only violence. It's extreme feminism. And look, I'm not saying some of those things that you're saying aren't weird, but I'm not here to call things weird. I'm trying to get to the foundation of it so we can all process it properly without men and women hating each other more, is what I'm trying to say. Know what I'm saying?
Playing field. I like to have intellectual conversations. I like to be with women that are around my same age.
Is that a shower in the back over here? Is that a shower? Looks like he's living in Kuwait. Where is he?
So in his personal life, if he can, for some reason, understand that a 16-year-old is not the same thing as an 18, 19, 20-year-old in most cases, he can see that clearly. But then when it comes to applying it to other people, for some reason, he's like, oh, well.
Oh, yeah. A daughter will change your tune. I agree with you, but it will change your tune. Yeah, okay, man, okay. I get you. I get your point, man. Wow. Shit, man. Okay, I hear you.
It's fine, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I think there'd be too much of a gap. But other people, like, if they're able to get along, then I don't see.
I'll be weeping if I have daughters.
Well, the reason why it's a problem is because a 16-year-old does not have the same mental maturity as somebody who is, let's say, 26. They are vastly different at different stages in their life. The 26-year-old has had college, they've had jobs, they've had experiences far beyond the 16-year-old that makes them much more able to make.
Okay, his takes are good. I get it. His takes are good. They're too good. We got to skip them.
25, 26, 27. A lot of people don't.
There's nothing wrong with that.
A lot of people graduate high school 16. A lot of people graduate high school 20. It's a huge variable. So to set that in stone is that this is when you're a kid and this is you're an adult. That doesn't apply.
I gotta skip around more. Like I want to get to the juice, man. We got to move on.
Would you agree with that?
I think that'd be totally understandable.
Classify an adult. Don't have.
Where's the big one? Where's the big one?
Their child.
Oh, here's the big one. This is the one I want.
When pressed on them. And that's why something ironic that I'm saying, Charlie did do that.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, but you guys get, I'm not trying to harp on it, but I get the weirdness of a lot of things, but this is bomb defusal. This isn't bomb making class, this is bomb defusal. You know what I'm saying? So I just have to say that.
That somebody can go through hormone therapy. Can they change their gender if they're a child?
Oh, now this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been waiting for right here.
I think that's totally fine as long as
So good.
everyone is consenting.
Have you ever had a child that could consent? Now we're talking about the age of consent here, right? Of course. The real age of consent that everyone should be worried about is not the regular things that people have been talking about for years. It's a child's consent or a baby's consent. They've been working on this stuff for years to make it plausible that children or babies can consent. It's a very, very dark thing. And there's only so far you can go with it. I almost puked.
You can just see Sneako's glee as he realizes how bad this is for.
Damn, he drew him out into a fucking foot and mouth bang. Did he intentionally do that? Is that this laugh and the look? Does that mean it was like a hit job to sort of trick him into talking about that? Even though in a couple years or a year, people will be swearing to God that children and babies can consent. Just wait for those days. You think these days are bad? I swear to God, I wish these were the worst days. It's only just begun. It's a problem. There should have been, you know what? The second people started talking about mixing consent with children, there should have been something that happened. Okay? So all of this is a very, very rough timeline. You understand what I'm saying? It shouldn't even have been tolerated years ago when the freaks were making videos on how babies and children can consent to things. There should have been people in the streets, mobs in the streets, manhunter mobs in the streets. But there weren't.
Charlie. Look, man, there's just no...
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, the Wings of Redemption. I forgot to answer about that. Wait. 500 subs? I thought that was a movie. What do you guys... Oh, is that a guy? Who are we talking about now? I thought that was a movie. Subs openly advocates age consent to be lowered to 12. I mean, all right. That's his prerogative. Cinema. I thought he was asking about a movie. Or maybe he was. It's a Wim Wenders. Okay. I was just my mind.
There's no circumstance under which a 9-year-old should be able to have a doctor cut their dick off.
Okay. I mean, does this... I guess that's the video. It's common sense. These things are common sense. You understand? It's common sense that children are children, and that if people are looking for them to consent, then there should be some sort of reaction to that. So all of this is absolutely wasted, because the fact that it's even a conversation at all is very dangerous and does not bode well at all, because they tried it, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. 5, 6, 7 years ago, they started talking about children and all this stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, people would do well, Athena. Adult men staying away from teen girls. In that men are less mature than women now. And the men are freaking annihilated and destroyed. So how can you expect normal behavior from anybody? Look at the state of men now. Look how annihilated and destroyed they are. Look at women. Need I say no? That's not why. I'm saying that the sexual ailments that wreck society, they are planted by a military organization. Okay? Perverted and immature. No, I guess that's a debate. Perverted and immaturity are perhaps they're the same thing. I'm saying everybody is a victim of abuse, is what I'm saying. And this is a hot topic. Like I get it. And I'm trying not to criticize or defend anybody. I'm really not. I'm just looking to get the brass tacks on this. Okay? And there are many, many problems with all of the social media and all of this stuff. Many, many problems. All I know is that the war is ceaseless and it will never end. So I guess people pay for it no matter what. Forever. Learned behavior. All of these things are learned behavior. And that's not passing the buck or the blame. Just saying everyone's been in the MK Ultra machine. Not everyone knows what that means. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone knows what that means, but everyone's been in it. Everyone's been in it. And everyone's still in it right now as we speak. Obviously. People know this by now. Surely people must know this by now. Yo, ooh, did I get Uber? Thanks for the sawbuck. Elias. Thanks for the sawbuck, pal. Yo, let me see. What's this? Invader, thanks for the sawbuck, pal. Classic Link style. I'm in a state of spiritual disgrace, like I can't go into a church and worship. I don't know if I need an exorcism or what. I keep making mistakes and effing everything up in my life. You don't have to read this one aloud, just need advice for the dead. I absolutely had to read it out loud. No, it's everyone knows. Well, not everyone, I guess, but a lot of people know what it's like. A lot of guys know what it's like to be wrecked and freaking in hell. Look, I get it. It's faith. It's faith, man. It's faith. It's faith. And I know that doesn't help because I don't have a better definition. Whatever is holding you back from progress is an intelligent entity that can only be disarmed by faith, the overriding of it by faith in your willpower, the exercising of your willpower to exorcise a demon. It takes willpower and faith, and those are those things that I would recommend that you dig into instead of beating yourself up, and instead of that state, instead of that constant state of admission and defeat of spiritual disgrace and unable to get out. That is a demonic state of mind. I will just say that right now. And I really think you have to look at it that way, and you have to step out of that. No one ever got anywhere beating themselves up, I'm telling you. No one ever got anywhere beating themselves up, I'm telling you. No one ever got anywhere beating themselves up, I'm telling you. Think about that, thanks. Script says, thanks for the sawbuck, pal. Streamlabs sawbuck. That's pretty nice. The role reversal between men and women and the unbalance of masculine and feminine energies amongst them is all very military and intentional. But we all know this. See that? Again, there it is. This warfare between everybody is only, it's hijinks. It's hijinks, and it's I don't know, it's intelligence. I don't know what to call it. It's espionage is what it is. It's intelligence. It's espionage. You know what I'm saying? People don't get it. I get it. I get that people don't get it. Consider those things. Consider those things. And this critical situation is crazy. We got another one. I mean, we got into this pretty good. Was this did I do the wrong video? What? Oh no, it's, I don't even know which one. I think this is the right one. After a debate, he announces it. Oh yeah, they I guess we didn't really I guess we did. Consenting to science experiments even before the age of reason, which is 7, is really pretty crazy. But it goes without saying, it's the most wicked idea that there is children consenting, because it implies very, very dark things. But again, I'll say it again. These freaks' weirdo religion requires children. It requires innocence be destroyed and defiled. Some people's religions require the defiling of children. Don't you get it? It's a religious thing. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? It's crazy.